Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of What Do You Need to Know to Live in Costa Rica? Today's topic, things we still can't stand. Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Jager, joined as always by my good friend and business partner, Aaron Bailey. Mr. Bailey.
Pura Vida Patrick. Hello. I'm very excited to talk about this topic. We might make some enemies. I hope
Yeah,
I hope everyone takes this in a lighthearted, fun way, because we truly we love this country, and we don't want to offend anyone. However, these are some of the things we just still can't stand.
all right. The other parenthetical to that is that these are things we still can't say in comma, but we know we have to because it's not like we talk about this all the time. We're not trying to say they need to change for us. We need to more and more adapt to them. I had dinner with friends last night, and there's one I'm sure one of us is going to bring up today that we were talking about last night, and they lived in the country for 15 years. So it's not
Yep.
like this isn't, it's just the difference of the mindset between
Yep.
expats and locals.
Absolutely. But before we get into it, Patrick, let's remind
Yes.
everyone, if you find this content valuable, we would really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button on this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps other people find our content. Thank
Oh,
you
look
so
at what I just
much.
did. That was
Oh,
fun.
you didn't turn that off.
No, that was fun.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome.
there we go.
Special effects.
All right, Patrick, what's your first one?
Okay, my first one, and it doesn't require special effects, is driving. The
Uh-huh.
way people drive in this country. I, it's just the thing that baffles me so much is this is a country where people are so genuinely caring and thoughtful and will give you the shirt off their back to help you until they get behind the wheel of a car. And then they are like, F you, every man for itself, for themselves. You don't see courtesy. No one lets you over. Like I explained this to everyone. We explain this to clients that are coming down. Like the one
Yeah,
thing you have to understand is driving here is different. Don't let that turn you off. It just is what it is. No one
it is.
merges. No one's polite. Like no one's even polite to stop to let someone cross the street. It's just not no one, but very few people. Like it just, I can't get used to it. I will say I'm probably turning into it a little more. Hold on. You give your half of it while I let my dog out. Go.
Okay. Yes. No, I actually kind of
What?
like driving here. I used to drive in New York City, so
Oh,
this
well,
is
there
very
you go.
similar to driving in New York. Well, what I can't stand is merging onto highways and onto
Ah,
other roads. People don't let you in, and I've become
no.
an asshole as well when driving here. Sorry,
You
everyone.
really? Oh, see, I can't.
Yeah,
The worst
a
of
little
all
bit.
the merges that I know in this country is going from like if you're coming from City Mall in Alajuela and you need to go onto the highway coming towards Atenas or anywhere to the north. It's a curve that just ends. It doesn't go into a lane that you can then merge into. It just ends. So then you have
Yeah,
to come up a blind curve, somehow get into traffic. Oh, and by the way, people walk across the highway there.
yeah.
So you're either going to get hit by a car or you're going to hit someone. I hate
You're
that one.
salty about that
I am.
intersection. Yeah,
I really
yeah.
am. Because I almost hit someone and I felt shitty about
Oh
it.
yeah, that would have been bad. Really bad.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want that
All
to
right, what's
happen.
your first one?
My first one is personal space. And this is not just Costa Rica, but this is all Latin America. When I'm walking down the sidewalk, I've been conditioned 40 years of living in the United States to walk on the right side of the sidewalk. And people approaching me don't move over. And so I feel like I'm like, where am I supposed to go, people? Especially if they're walking two or three together, they don't all move over. They tend to just take up the entire sidewalk. Same with elevators. I was in Panama this past weekend, and it happens in Costa Rica all the time. People, like two or three people, will enter an elevator together and stand in the middle instead of spreading out to the sides like we do in the United States. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Oh,
Okay.
well.
I think that's a good one. Okay, my next one is, speaking of standing, is lines and queuing here. And I know that
Uh,
things have been, it's funny. I was at this dinner last night. Some of these old timers were like, oh, it's so much better than it used to be. But I'm like, I can't even imagine. My case in point is the bank. You go to the bank
uh-huh.
and you have to wait outside until there's space for you inside. And so, and at my bank, there's two lines. There's the older person, pregnant person, disabled person line, and there's the
Oh,
normal line. Yeah,
which is
and then they
nice.
let people in,
Yep.
and then you have to sit. Then you have to decide which of the areas within the bank, and then they let you into that area,
Uh-huh.
and then you
Uh-huh.
pull a number, and then you sit in a chair. But the chairs are such that you sit in the back where it's open, and then as numbers are called, you move up. It's not like you can just sit there and wait for your number and then go.
Yep.
You Everybody moves up, and it just is like, okay, maybe it's good because it's giving you some calisthenics, but it just feels it's like a lot of things. It feels very kind of unnecessary. It's the same thing like
Uh-huh.
you had this when you had to get your license plates back after you had a
Uh-huh.
parking ticket. You go to this person for the stamp and this person to
Yep.
hand in the stamp, but then you have to go to that person to get the next piece of paper, but then you have to go over here. It just feels like a lot of this stuff is process for the sake of process, or to be able to laugh at people going through the process. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not, but it feels like that way. Yes, I hate that as well. I just don't go to the bank much. I haven't probably been to the bank in a year, so
Yeah.
uh, thankfully I can do everything electronically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You're next.
All right, my next one. I think we are north of the equator here in Costa Rica, and
We
yet
are.
Ticos call winter summer and summer winter. They call December to May summer because that's their high season. That's their lovely season without rain. And then June comes around and they call that winter, even though we're north of the equator. So I sort of get it conceptually, but like it doesn't make sense scientifically. And I really wish I can't wrap my brain around calling December or January summer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, kids go on summer break and it's
Uh
their,
huh.
we would call it Christmas break, but
Right.
it's 3 months long. Yeah, I totally,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Um, okay. My next one is something that we try to address it at York Puerto Vida, which is lack of professional training for service industries. In the States, you go through a licensure process. In Europe or Canada or other places, it is a you do an apprenticeship. That doesn't happen here. Everybody, like, a plumber is a plumber, but he's also the handyman. He's also the thing, and it's not like there are trade organizations per se across the board. And because of that, like, you kind of get what you get, and nothing is quite at the same level of expertise. I'm trying to be very delicate on how I say this, but, like, it's that, like, I want a plumber that actually is going to be a really great plumber. So that's what we
Yeah.
try to find for our clients, is like, you need a really strong pool developer. We're going to find you the best, not just the one that says he can and he's in your neighborhood that also cuts
Right.
your lawn.
Right. You kind of have to know that one guy will say he can do everything, but is really good at plumbing, but not to use him for you know electrical work. And you have to hire another guy for electrical work, but he also does plumbing, and he does plumbing poorly. So you just kind
Yeah.
of have to navigate that and find
Yeah.
the person for
That's
each thing you need.
which is why we're here.
Is why we're here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. What else? What's your next? We're going to do
All
two
right.
more each.
Okay, Ticos, I love you. This is not Ticos and Floridians, I love you, but I don't understand
Ooh.
why so many Ticos vacation in Florida. Like, there are so many amazing places to visit in the United States and other places. Don't go to Florida. Like, I get it. Like, it's cheap shopping, and that's a lot of times why they go. But in the whole, Disney. I get why they go to Disney, but they're just,
Keep shopping.
yeah, true. But go other places, people. Email me. I would love to help you figure out where else in the United States you could go visit.
Yeah, go to Utah. See some rock outcroppings you
Right.
can't see. Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Colorado.
funny.
There's so many other places.
I
So,
hadn't thought about that. That's really good.
all right,
All
Patrick,
right,
what's your next one?
my next, and I'm going to say it's my last. And this is something that it is such a first world issue, and it's such a first world thing, and it's really not even a Costa Rica thing. It's a me thing. I didn't realize until I moved here how dependent I am on Amazon.
Mm,
Because you can't Amazon here. You can, but you're crazy to do it. It's just
it takes
outrageously
forever.
expensive
Yeah.
and takes forever. But like you learn to be at a different cadence here. You don't need the same stuff. Or if you have to, you go to PriceMart or something and try to find something similar. But it is shocking how much the second I'm home, I order a bunch of shit on Amazon so that I can bring it down next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't stand that. Like, this is one of the things I can't stand. I can't stand that I'm so dependent still on
Sure.
the Amazonian way of living. I want to get rid of that.
You need to Amazon rehab. You need to go
Is there a 12-step program for that?
There might be. You should
Oh
check
my
that out.
gosh,
Maybe we should start that. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, my last one, and this is more about the United States than it is about Costa Rica, but I'm going to say it pisses me off to no end that we Americans of the United States variety and Canadians can hop on a plane and come to Costa Rica and get a stamp in our passports for 180 days. But my Tico friends have to wait sometimes 2 years to get a visa to go to the United States, just to visit the United States. It is
Totally agree.
wrong. It pisses me off. It's costly for Costa Ricans. There's a whole complicated process with paperwork. It just, like, come on, the United States. Your immigration system is broken, and it's time to fucking fix it.
Oh,
I
well
swore.
done. That was a good
Sorry,
ending.
Mom.
Okay. How many of you have other gripes that we haven't talked about? What can you still not stand living here, and how do you augment it? Because remember, this is not a complaint on Costa Rica. It's more a complaint on we're not there yet. We haven't
Exactly.
Puerto Vita enough.
Yes.
But tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Nothing makes us happier than to interact with people in the comments. And we try to interact with almost everybody. Some we don't if it's like good video, or snarky we might not interact with. But everyone else, we'd love to interact with you. So leave a comment. Again, subscribe, thumbs up. Let us share this community. We really are having fun. We do this because we want to see people really come here and thrive. To that end, we do have our company, Your Pura Vida, and if you are interested in what we are doing, Your Pura Vida, www.yourpuravida.com/links. That gets you to our website, to our blog, to our videos, which are already on, to our Instagram page. Please interact with us. You can also leave us a message at ola@yourpuravida.com. We're here for you. This is a community that we're growing for you to answer what you want and be your partners in looking at Costa Rica.
Absolutely. This has been a fun one. We hope to hear from you via email or in the comments. And until next time, Patrick, Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.